Boom, we're live. This is Teal and the Arcane Bear, and today we're going to be taking a look at our weekly updates for where we think Bitcoin and maybe some of the altcoin markets are headed. We've got something special to tell you at the end of this, so stay tuned for that. But currently we're looking at around this $7,700 mark here. Bang! We're looking at around September 7th for that as well, to probably hit that high around $7,700 to $8,000. Maybe $8,000 on a candle wick. I then suspect a retracement to $5,500. As we've seen, it's happened a few times before. We've been hitting this bearish wedge, following the trend line, and then getting closer and closer to this pinpoint here. So as that starts to happen, it really just builds up more and more energy into the direction that it chooses next. So I have a long-term outlook for the beginning of December to late November for where we choose a higher direction or lower direction. But I believe this is the last of the retouch, the last of the accumulation areas, and the continuation on past, hopefully, $15,000. Now, this is a really tightened time frame, so I don't have bets on it being that quick, because there's a favorite quote of mine that says things always take longer than you might expect, and that's a pretty good way to shape your thoughts, is to give yourself more time. Patience is already a valuable asset. So, you know, I don't think we're going to go much lower than that $5,500 area again, although there is reason to think that we could go into the $3,000 area, only because we've seen this 236 line on the Fibonacci extension retracement. This has happened a few times in almost every digital asset token that we've held, whereas it hasn't happened in Bitcoin yet. So the fact that it hasn't taken place here means that it could, because we've seen that pattern, but it doesn't mean that it will. And as a matter of fact, I don't like to make bets on things like that. I do suspect that because Bitcoin costs a certain amount of money through electricity and hardware, time, etc. to mine, that it's unlikely that it would go much lower than 5,500. But you always have to calculate in the downside risk. The downside risk with Bitcoin or any of these tokens, as far as I've owned it since $90, has always been the same thing. The downside risk is zero, but the upside potential is extraordinarily high. Again, this is a positive sentiment for all the markets. So a lot of you have been asking, how am I investing right now? Since May, I've been sitting in almost entirely in Bitcoin, because I felt that a lot of the alternative digital assets would suffer at these particular moments. But now that Bitcoin's starting to stabilize, I think the next pool of waves is likely to come in, like what we saw last September through December, where we had alternating ups and downs between the price and dominance of the alternative digital asset sphere and then the Bitcoin space. And that's, I think, an important thing to keep your mind on, because trading those highs and taking those profits is how you accumulate more and don't leave value left on the table. We did that with a few tokens where we were able to take almost right off the top, because they happened so quickly into these larger extensions of 1618. Anytime I see extensions into the 1618 or the 3618, I take profits, wait for a return, and then decide if I'm still interested in that project. And some of the projects that had gone all the way back down to that 236 line, and we'll go over those again here in the next few weeks, they're looking like it's time to accumulate again. And for those of you that are still listening from the first minute that I said there's some kind of exciting news, I've been in chats with Alicat about having him join our Telegram channel and maybe help with some updates. That's totally speculation though, so don't think that that's going to happen just yet, but it's a good conversation. Hopefully we'll be having that over the next little while, because I can always use the help. All the other people that are in the Telegram channel, thank you guys so much. You're so supportive. I see you guys making trades and giving heads up about new tokens in there all the time, so I really appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, remember to smash that like button as well as the subscribe button. That way, if you're new to the Bear family, anytime we go live, you will be notified, and that's always helpful. Some of the stuff we do post is pressing in time, like the moments where we have called tops. But again, for anyone that's listening, anytime we make a call, those are not calls, because none of this is investment advice. This is what I'm looking at and what I'm doing. Whatever you choose to do, please remember you're doing that on your own volition. It has nothing to do with me. This is Teal with the Arcane Bear signing off for the rest of the day, and we're going to post a loader vlog hopefully this evening about why we dropped out of school and decided to hitchhike around the world. We'll see you guys on the other side. Ooh.